go drop like rain, nigga, watch me hit those trees. In the Naruto universe, there is a super powerful technique that seemingly all ninja know about, but only a handful use at all, and none use it to its full potential, and that technique is the sealing jutsu. Now, I know most of the time we see a sealing jutsu, it's on a human and seems fairly advanced and niche, but all you have to do is move your sights from the outcome to the means in which it's gained. For example, Gar's sand mausoleum is probably the most simple sealing technique, using an immense amount of sand and magnet release to keep the sand sealed. Easy enough, gets the job done, sometimes. But this is only half of what sealing jutsu can do. As we look at Sai's Ink Tiger sealing jutsu, that seals the opponent in a painting, which is an immediate jump from sensible to how the fuck did you turn him into a painting? He was made of flesh and blood, and now he's just ink. I know that had to be painful. And that's just the tip of the sealing iceberg. But the one sealing that I think stands above them all is the ability to seal anything, and I mean anything, inside a scroll. Scrolls are without a doubt the most wide reaching sealing that can be had, from messages to ninja tools to a person to a body of water. Scrolls have the ability to hold seemingly an infinite amount of whatever thing you seal into it based on the written seal. Like, I don't think if you're storing ninja tools, you can shove a jacket in there, but whatever one type of thing you're sealing is as infinite as your chakra and skill with the jutsu. Meaning, a beginner may only be able to store a bucket of water, where someone who's adept at the technique can seal an entire lake. We see time and time again throughout the Naruto story. Anytime someone opens a scroll that's not a written message, something shoots out of it with a high velocity. And what's more important is it's instant, like the creation of a shadow clone. You don't have to reach into the scroll, nor do you really have to do anything other than what I'm assuming is run chakra through the scroll. And poof, you now have an anything dispenser, and while that's all good and dandy, it makes me wonder, how exactly does this jutsu work? And I have a few theories. We'll start out with the least likely, that being when you seal something into a scroll, you're not putting it anywhere, but breaking it apart on an atomic level and just laying the single atoms on the paper, which causes a few problems, like where's the weight going, how is whatever you're sealed being put back together. It's a fairly complicated process, so the most likely answer is that it's space-time ninjutsu, or a version of the summoning jutsu, which at first glance checks out, but then I remembered the blood contract that Naruto had to do, and I thought, well, maybe that's only for living things that can resist a summon, which makes a little more sense, but then where are these items being stored? Because if you're telling me most shinobi are able to create pocket dimensions with little to no effort, I'd wonder what the scroll was even for. Why not just put the seal on your body? And Sasuke and Shippuden has cuffs with seals on them to summon Shuriken, but not on his actual body. And I wonder if it's considered a summoning or a reverse summoning, since it was already somewhere and then you summoned it here. And since you can see in Boruto the scientific ninja tools dispense many scrolls to use different ninjutsu, I'm assuming it doesn't matter who sealed it, anybody can access it. But can we just step aside real quick and talk about the weirdest sealing in my opinion? The Heaven and Earth scrolls used during the Forest of Death. Apparently, they work by summoning the sensei to whatever team opens the scrolls. But we see one team open one scroll and get knocked out, and we see Naruto's team open both scrolls and get Iruka, who says if they had opened one, he still would have been summoned and knocked them out. So if that's the case, as always, I have a few questions. If one summons you, how would both of the scrolls be necessary? Like, if a team had both scrolls but got to the tower and opened them one at a time, would they have still been knocked out? And if you have a seal that can summon you anytime someone opens a scroll, Naruto should have never laid eyes on the Shadow Clone Jutsu, since it could have instantly summoned a ninja to deal with the threat. And there were more than a few scrolls with different people to summon, so unless one person did this, I'm gonna believe most Jonin can. And no, I guess that's not true. Any number of people could have done that, and it may be that those scrolls are just special scrolls. But they had to be made somehow, which means someone has an effective Flying Thunder God technique. Wait a minute. Orochimaru swallowed a scroll. He's lucky it didn't open and release a full grown man in his throat. Okay, alright. I'm gonna head out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.